What's going on, everybody? This is Brian Mazik, aka Franchise Play, and I am back with Ask FP. It's been a long time. I shouldn't have left you without some Ask FP to step to. And there's a lot to talk about. A lot to talk about. Obviously, the biggest thing going on right now, in far as the things that fall within my swim lane, which is a pretty wide swim lane, sometimes a little too wide. But the biggest things going on right now, the biggest thing going on right now is NBA 2K18. So if you are new to Ask FP, new to my channel, new to following me on Twitter, whatever the case may be, and you don't know exactly how this works, I've had Ask FP before. I've had to stop it at times during more busy times. There's different things going on. Essentially, it's a Q&A that I operate through Twitter. You follow me on Twitter at Unique Mazik, and you shoot me a question about pretty much just about anything: sports, video games, regular video games, hip hop, music, whatever, movies, whatever. You shoot me a question, and to the best of my ability, I try to answer these things live on the stream as you are looking at right now, and try to go from there. Now, I'm not really able at this point to respond to live comments that you may be making in the comment section, but still feel free to make those comments. I go back and I look at it afterwards, and I'm sometimes able to answer or respond to those comments at that time. But yeah, so what I'm going to be doing is pretty much sharing my Twitter screen with you so I can go through these questions. I've taken a quick look at them to kind of know what's going on. I try to eliminate some duplicates because a lot of people were asking some of the similar questions because I put out something. I had a separate hashtag called FP2K info. So I decided to just kind of mesh the questions from that initiative into the questions from the normal Ask FP initiative, which I started asking for questions on that about 5 days ago. So I think we are ready to go. As you guys can see, I got a new mic. It's pretty dope. It's the Rode Podcaster. It works really well. If you guys are interested in getting into YouTube and you're wondering about equipment and that sort of thing, I highly suggest you follow a YouTube channel called Think Media. I don't know the gentleman's name who is the personality there, but his suggestions for equipment are outstanding. I have bought uh, the mic setup, the boom arm setup, as well as some of the stuff that I use on the road to film. I've taken his suggestions and it's worked out really well. I haven't gotten anything that he suggested that wasn't good. So he's a beast. So you should definitely look him up if you're interested at all. But without further ado, let's jump ahead into these questions, and we're gonna go. All right. So the first question comes from Matt Fun. As you can see, my stream is up and rolling. I can see what you guys are seeing. So I need to kind of figure out a way to get some smaller fonts there for the sports and video games things to fit. But Matt Fun says, and this is under the FP2K info hashtag, changes to the pick and roll on both sides of the ball. There are some changes specifically to the way the defense defends pick and roll, is what I noticed. And before I get into this, I'm gonna address something, and I'm gonna take off the screen while I address this. I put up the gameplay video. I think I'm the only person with legit gameplay of in-game gameplay up. Everybody else was looking at the neighborhood, which is amazing, and I'm going to talk about that in a future video. Everybody else was looking at my team or just doing whatever or not actually capturing. But I came to an event to this event with a plan of the type of coverage that I wanted to get. I wasn't able to get everything because I don't know how many of y'all saw the environment there, but the environment was crazy. There were people everywhere, NBA players, media, YouTubers everywhere. So it was really difficult to concentrate, to focus, to do anything, let alone try to play the game extremely well. So I got a lot of people trolling, talking about, dude, you suck at the game, or dude, you this, that, and the third. I hear you. Now, I never have claimed to be the best at the game. I'm pretty decent just from I literally been playing the game since NBA 2K on Dreamcast. So a lot of the people who are saying that, you know, you're not good or whatever. I've probably been playing the game longer than you've been alive, if we just being real. So people say that kind of stuff all the time. And if I played you, I may or may not win, whatever, but it is what it is. The whole point of the video is to show you some gameplay. Now, if you don't think that I played the game well, that's fine. It didn't cost you nothing. I appreciate the view though. But you know, it is what it is. You know what I mean? You if you feel like the gameplay was so my skills were so poor that you just could not get a good understanding of how the game played, then I am sorry. I'm not sorry, but that's just too bad. I mean, bruh, come on, you know. And I generally don't like. I try to. One of the things I'm working on is trying not to respond to trolls. But this one comment I got, I'm not even gonna say the person's name, but I mess with this dude normally, but I'm not gonna say his name. Because I said something. I said that, you know, only insignificant people troll because they really don't have any consequences, man. You say whatever it is you want to say, and nobody cares what you think. So there's no consequences. So people just say whatever they want to say, and it's kind of silly, right? But one person said, well, anybody who spends their money is insignificant. I totally agree. If you're talking to 2K, I'm not 2K, brother. And so whoever it is that has an issue with my gameplay, why are you talking to me about spending your money? That's not an apples to apples comparison, bro. You talking about spending your money and how that doesn't make you insignificant. You're right. It doesn't make you insignificant as a consumer. You're purchasing the 2K product. I'm not selling you anything. So what are you talking about? So I don't even know what you're talking about, but whatever. So it is what it is. But so let's just get back to I you know, the Brian in me had to address that. All right, so let's go. Matt Fun says we're talking about the changes to pick and roll on both sides of the ball. The changes to pick and roll on both sides of the ball. I really love the way the defense overall, and I'm gonna make a lot of references to this thing this entire time. But man, the defense is so much smarter. And Scott O'Gallagher and Nazar did a great job. But when I'm talking about defense, I'm specifically talking about Scott O'Gallagher's contributions, because he really pretty much spearheads the defensive efforts. The switches are smarter. The decisions to go over or under screens are smarter. The way the other defenders who are not caught in the pick and roll sequence, the way they react is smarter. It's just more difficult to get good shots, right? And if you saw my video, you saw the only thing I really pretty much did, because there was a lot of stuff going on. Only thing I pretty much did was call normal regulars, you know, manual screen and rolls, high, you know, high screen and rolls up top. Tried to beat the man off the screen in that way, or tried to, you know, set the screen on the left side, dribble left, crossover back to the right, or vice versa, to try to get open for a shot or get a clean drive to the basket. If I'm being honest with you, in 2K17, you could do that all day and get to the basket and score. You could. If you had a talented player or controlling the ball, you could do that all day and you could score. You cannot do that in 2K18. I was playing on Superstar. So, and the reason why I chose Superstar is because I had spoken with Scott O'Gallagher and I'd read his blog, and he had mentioned that the only way you're going to get all of the everything that's been added in from a defensive AI standpoint is to play on Superstar or above. So if you play on anything below Superstar, you're not going to get all of the things that they've added to make the defensive AI where it is. So I wanted to feel that. But like I said, while I'm playing, literally, Kemba Walker walks up to me and he's like, "Hey man, this game is pretty cool, whatever." And you know, they obviously wanted to get Kemba some time on the sticks, and you know, whatever. So he walks up, and Kimba's the coolest dude, man. I mean, he is so nice. Dude can't be more than 5'9", though. I don't care what they list him at. He's can't be more than 5'9". But I mean, coolest dude. So what? I mean, while I'm playing, what I'm gonna do? Like, not pay attention to what Kemba Walker is saying to me, and like, dude, no, I'm focused on the game right now, Kemba. No. D'Angelo Russell walks up. He wants to see the tattoo parlor the tattoo shop in the neighborhood. So it was kind of crazy the way everything went. But it's difficult, man. It's difficult. The way they defend screens and everything is much better. On the offensive side, I thought that from an animation standpoint, I liked the way the collisions look. It didn't appear as though people were getting sucked into the collision, into the screens the way they used to do. And I think someone mentioned that instance, so I really like that. Um, I'm gonna be honest with you. You're not going to hear me say much at all about negative about this gameplay. This gameplay is, and like, okay, so I what did I the first build I played like maybe 8 games or something like that, and so that was earlier this month, early in August, I should say. Now this, which was the final build that I played on, I played this maybe I want to say about 2.5 games, and then I walked around the neighborhood and looked at some other stuff in the game. Man, I'm telling you, this gameplay is the best I've played on 2K. And I just really hope that they don't mess with, they don't try to patch too much. They don't listen, because I'm going to tell you, you're going to have some people complaining about not being able to make shots and this because people, like the way I just played willy-nilly, that's how most people play. You know, I don't have a problem with running offense. I actually know basketball pretty well. I mean, they don't just let you write about a sport for major publications if you don't know the game. But in this particular environment, I'm just playing. I'm just willing, whatever. And I'm playing pretty much the same way I played at 2K in 2K17, because essentially the game never forced me to play any different. So, but yeah, you're gonna get forced to play different now. So the gameplay is really good, really, really good. And I'm just really hoping that people, the dev team doesn't overreact to complaints and start to make a bunch of changes. All right, the next question comes from Armand Bradford, and he says, ask about several separate offline customizable My Career with no caps and custom rosters. Yeah, I did ask them about that. I don't feel as though we're any closer to getting that than we were when we were initially requesting it before. Um, I think from a tech standpoint, that's a pretty sizable, um, undertaking. I know why I want it. I'm assuming it's probably the same thing why you want it, Armand. You want to have the same My Career experience, but not have the limitations that they had to put in so that they could level out the whole esports aspect. People are, My Career leads directly into esports. And so the playing field has to be leveled. You can't have 7'3" guys that are running like, you know, you're running around like Russell Westbrook and shooting threes like Steph Curry. Just in the esport, that kind of ruins things. But in an offline setting, I don't want to have any limitations. And I want to be able to use custom rosters. And I want to be able to but I still want to be able to experience the story and all of that too. So I understand why you're saying that, but no, that's not in this year. And to be honest, I didn't even get an inkling that it might be something they'd be willing to do next year. But I don't know. We got to think about it like this. 2K really does reach, no matter you're going to hear people hate and say crazy, stupid stuff about this game. And I am not going to ever sit up here and tell you that this game is perfect, but there is no sports video game franchise in existence that does as much to grow their game from year to year from a feature standpoint. We can focus in on 1 or 2 or 3 things that we don't like, and it's usually a niche area of the game, or we don't like it that this happens, or we don't like it that that happens. But if you look at the amount of modes and how ambitious this game is from year to year, you are lying to yourself and everybody else if you do not admit that this particular development team and franchise breaks their back every year going above and beyond. And when it's to the point that I think fans are spoiled, because if you don't get this niche feature that you've been asking for, then people just go off crying, oh my God, they suck, 2K, da da da. And it's so crazy, man. Like, I'm not that hard on any of the development teams, whether it be Madden, whether it be NBA Live, whether it be 2K, whether it be MLB The Show, because I have a good understanding of what it takes to develop a video game. And it's not as easy as 95% of the fans in the world think. They think you just say, boom, do this and just do it. And people feel like people just hold the devs teams just hold features back intentionally. There's a lot of things involved, man. And um, I really like Madden this year, and I'm gonna put out a video review for it. I already did a written review. But I know that a lot of the problems that EA is running in, I won't say all, but some of the problems that EA is running into with Madden has to do with the NFL and what the NFL will not allow them to do. You know, the NFL will not allow EA to make a franchise mode as widespread and as verbose as my GM and my league, because they want to retain absolute control of their properties and of their brands. So they don't want you rebranding the Chicago Bears. Now, I know they used to have it in the game, but things are different now. I don't know what exactly has changed, but I have been told by people that I know that the NFL will not allow this anymore at this point. That's what's happening with tattoos, a lot of the stuff that's going on. And this is across all of the video games. This is not just 2K. This is not just Madden, any of that. The thing with live, and I don't want to go off too far away from the question, but the thing about live is live has a fundamental issue with gameplay and animations, and that is and player renders from the neck down. Though, to me, that core issue is what holds that game back from being able to really take a hard step towards 2K. They have some good ideas and they do some good things that 2K should incorporate, like the way live had better face scanning from the very beginning. They came out with face scanning. First of all, they pioneered the face scanning whole concept with game face, you know, when you were taking your picture and putting it. So they pioneered that anyway. Secondly, when they finally did do the actual face scanning and they put it on a mobile app, it was better than 2K's from the beginning, you know. So they have some good ideas and they do some good things, but as an overall package, man, you cannot sit here and tell me. People sometimes they come at me about, you know, giving positive reviews to 2K and criticizing live. I don't care, bro. Like, I don't have a personal thing for either one. I'm here to tell my honest opinion. And my honest opinion is live has some fundamental holes that stop it from being on par with 2K from a gameplay standpoint. And then when you look at the feature set, it's not even close. And as a consumer, if I'm deciding, am I going to buy a fully fleshed out game with 7 huge modes, or am I going to buy this other game that has 3 or 4 modes? One of them is pretty deep and solid, and the other 2 are kind of just thrown out there just to say we got a full AAA game. That's where we are right now, you know. So it is what it is. All right, so I'm not gonna go on a rant on every question, but some of this stuff is just stuff I had to just been swirling around, and I haven't done an Ask FP in a while, so I haven't had a chance to really, you know, kind of share what where I'm at. So my man Long comes in and he says, "Can we get tats for our offline caps? How many new hairstyles do they have? Our mouth guards and masks in the game this year?" Okay, so I got answers to this all of this, Long. Offline tats for creative players, no. And I'm gonna talk a lot about this over in this episode, but the one area of NBA 2K18 that I am very disappointed in, and I could have missed something, so I'm not gonna you know, commit to taking points off my review just yet, but I think we're trending that way. The part I'm really disappointed in is the offline creative player option. They, for the most part, it mirrors what you can do in the My Career creative player thing, except for obviously there's no face scanning for that. For the offline thing, you do get the same amount of hairstyles, and I'll talk about what those are. I wish I had pictures of them all, but like I said, we were getting bumped on and off the system, so that was something I didn't get a chance to capture. But I did get a chance to write down all the names so I can tell you how many of them there are. Mouth guards and masks are not in the game that I saw, and I've went through that pretty well. No, you know what? I cannot confirm that. I can't confirm. I'm pretty sure masks aren't, but I can't confirm that because I'm seeing the accessory tab and I'm knowing that I didn't look thoroughly in there. So I can't confirm that, but I'm about 95% sure there's no mask. But yeah, I wasn't really pleased with the offline creative player option at all. I thought it was to be honest. Now, like I said, I need to mess with this a little bit more. But to be honest, I feel like they took a step backwards. Because do you remember in 2K14, I believe it was, when you created a player, you couldn't change any part of their face, right? You had the players looked more like real players. And my man Infamous, the Infamous New York, he's the guy who did the NCAA 2K, and he's a as far as like jersey and court creation and that kind of stuff, I haven't seen anybody that's better than this dude. I don't know. Maybe y'all have, but this dude really legit. When if NBA 2K's art department is looking to hire, they need to be reaching out to Infamous New York because he's that talented, right? But he said this maybe about a month ago during a conversation that him, and Embrace the Pace had. He said that he thought that the new cap system was going to result in players looking more like regular non-creative players, but us having less control over their facial features. And if you ask me, I think that's exactly where we are with this. Now, I don't, like I said, I cannot 100% confirm it, but as I flip through the changes that you could make to the eyes and the nose and the mouth, especially the eyes, I didn't see a lot of variation from one eye to the next. So we're somewhere in between the template system that 2K14 had and the more wide ranging, editing that we had in like 2K17 and 16. And I kind of hate this because all of those tutorials that brilliant in-game artists like Tigor did are just totally obsolete now because everything has changed. Everything has changed. So that's kind of crazy. And like I said, fairly disappointing. Yeah, I mean, I would have been cool if they changed that whole thing and they put one in that was even deeper and allowed, so if Tigor and other guys like him had to relearn a more, expansive system, then I would have been okay, cool. Well, yeah, they changed everything and we can't use your old tutorials anymore, but now you got the tools to do even better. That's not the case. I don't think no. So I don't like that part. But here are the hairstyles. And I don't know exactly how many this is. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I might be miscounting. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41. So we got 41 hairstyles in total. I'm going to read them to you. Hopefully you can get a visual of what they are. Bald, afro, buzzed, polished buzzed, Caesar, cornrows, crew cut. We got cropped 1 through 6, long dreads, drop fade, faux hawk, high top, juice box, long straight, twist fade, mohawk bleached, mohawk long, parted medium, parted short, ponytail receding, samurai, shaggy, short tapers fade 1 through 3, spiked 1 through 3, tapered fade, temple fade, undercut, wavy, and long and wavy. So for me, as I looked through the hairstyles, I saw for the most part everything that I would want, with the exception of they didn't give you enough variations of afros, right? And like I said, I understand this is not something that they're probably, super interested in or worried about. But when you are creating when you're creating the Legends rosters and that sort of thing, not every brother back in the 70s had the same length afro, right? So you're, just giving everybody the big wild afro, there's always like a hole there that's left. So that unfortunately is not there like the way I would like it to be. But you know, I know, like I said, I know that that is not going to be their number one focus. I know it's not. I know they're going to pretty much just do what they can, or do it. 41 hairstyles is a lot of hairstyles, but I mean, could you? I guess the truth is, could you ever really have them all or have everyone? There's always going to be something that somebody left out. So I don't. I'm not tripping too bad about it. But do I wish that it was a little bit better? Yeah, absolutely, I do. Because yeah, I know that it. I mean, I know that it could be. I like I said, I can see easy some that I wish that were in there, like certain players that I won't be able to make accurate. I won't be able to make very accurate because of the limitations. So, but let's go back to the questions. All right, we got from Deontay Rose, my main man. He says, "My team, how much VC is needed to use to save your drafted player on your team once you have to redraft?" So, what Deontay is talking about is the pack and play mode in my team, where it's the draft mode basically. So it starts off, you draft 5 players. So it's little draft rounds. You draft like your starting 5. And then you fill out your bench with pack openings. So you play like a playoff. It's like you have to go through an NBA postseason. You don't play. So it takes 4 wins to advance to the next round, or 4 losses to be started back at the beginning. You're not playing a series against one specific player. You're playing like, whoever you get matched up with, and you have to get 4 wins within a 7-game series kind of a thing. After your round is over, or if you advance, you're going to be, in a position to lose certain players, but you can retain them if you use VC. I asked this question, Deontay. They couldn't tell me exactly how many, but what he did tell me is that it's a very minimal amount of VC that it costs. So I don't think we're looking at anything like 5,000 VC. I think it's more like 50 to 100 VC to keep a player. Now that's an estimation, but the direct quote that I got was a minimal amount. Let's see. So next question comes from Dolph Solan, and he says, new parks, gameplay enhancements that hasn't been mentioned, canned animations really gone, sliding on court addressed. I didn't notice a lot of sliding. I thought the foot planning was much better. The gameplay enhancements I talked about a little bit. I kept this question in here because of the new park. Also canned animations. I didn't see a lot of canned animations. I like in 2K17. There's a little. Obviously I really like 2K17, so I'm not bashing 2K17. A lot of times we do that. The new game come out, and then all of a sudden we talk about the old one like we hated it. That's not true. There was things I didn't like, but I loved it. Still like it. But there, like in 2K17, there were times where you'd be like, okay, I'm stuck in this animation. I really want to get out of this. And then, I didn't see any of that in the games that I played, but that kind of thing is stuff that you notice after you play for a long, long time. You get about 10 games in, you're like, oh, okay, every time this happens, then, so I can't profess to know all of that, but I will say that I don't recall seeing any. But there's so many new animations that you may not even detect them at first. So that's another thing. New parks, man, those parks look sick. And I'm not even a my park dude, right? But just the design of the parks, the way you get to them through walking through the neighborhood, it's an ingenious thing. I haven't even talked much about it, so I hope the impression isn't that I'm not impressed with it. It's just so big that I feel like I need to address that in something separate by itself, where all I'm talking about is that, right? So yes, absolutely new parks. Yeah. So we'll talk about that a little bit. All right, next question comes from Jaleel Whitaker, and he says, my main thing is my career. I want to know what they did to improve the archetypes. Well, what they did to improve archetypes is they expanded on them in such a crazy way, dude. There are literally hundreds of archetypes that you can have now because they have introduced hybrids. So the station that I was playing at, they had like an archetype above the monitor that you were playing on, and I don't know why that was or whatever, but the one that I was playing next to was a slashing stretch 5. Like, so crazy hybrid stuff like that is there. and you're able to like earn specific badges for each one of the different skill sets that you have relating to the archetype. It's they've done some crazy stuff. Like I said, that kind of goes into the whole neighborhood thing for me. And like I'm gonna do a separate thing talking about that individually, but they have absolutely improved on the archetype structure. All right, our next question comes from Crazy Girl 84. Is the defense improved? You bet it is, girl. It is improved in a major way. Wow. I mean, even when you're playing defense, it's improved, you know, so it definitely is better. Spac Jones, FBH says, do you see auto fouls a lot, or does it seem toned down? I definitely think that it seems toned down, but I do remember one specifically, right? I was going to double because a lot of people be like, oh man, he ain't on ball defending every time. No, I'm not on ball defending every time. That's just the way I play. You can, if there's a person who doesn't own ball defend, then that's an opportunity for you maybe to take advantage if you're really, really good off the dribble. But if you're not really, really good off the dribble, yes, I might own ball defend you. I'll be able to bring a double. I'll be able to roam on defense. I'll be able to try to play passing lanes with the guy I am controlling. So yeah, I do that sometimes, and I don't see any issue with it. Some people like feel like it's like cheating or something. I don't know what they think, but whatever. But I was not on ball defending on this one particular situation, and I forgot who it was, but they fouled in a low post, and it was like a dumb foul. I was like, why would you foul right there? But see, like for me, man, I don't even want my teammates to play perfect, because in real life, people don't play perfect. People make or commit dumb fouls. People take bad shots. People miss shots they should make. People miss rebounds they should make. People make bad passes. So when that happens, it doesn't freak me out. But a lot of people complain and they want all of that perfected. But then and now we're not really playing the game, or we're not, it's like it's not bad. It's not real sport. It's not like it doesn't have the authenticity that a real basketball game would have. So I don't want completely egregious stuff like, every time Michael Jordan goes to the basket for a layup, he can't make it because that's ridiculous. But if Michael Jordan blows a layup here and there, I'm not going to freak out, because I watched Michael Jordan's entire career, and he blew some layups a few times. Not all the time, more times than not, of course not, but it happens. So, it is what it is. Let's see. Games fan says, can you check if we can edit the classic and all-time teams, player ages, and see if there's an option to share created players? Okay. No. Well, okay. I don't know how you mean this question, if it's a 2-part or 3-part, but you can edit the classic and all-time teams, but you cannot edit their ages. I went in specifically to check that, and you cannot. That's another part of the game I was disappointed in. I don't know exactly why they won't let you do that. It's kind of weird. I don't know. And I've asked, but I've never gotten a straight answer about it. So maybe I haven't asked the right person. But yes, you can do that. So I don't like that. And there is no option to share individual players. I'm not sure exactly why that is either. It used to be in, but it's not in anymore. I don't mind that as much, though. That doesn't bother me too much. I don't really care about that, but I do know Embrace the Pace had expressed that he didn't like that and that he wanted that in the game. But yeah, it's not in. Next question comes from Dolph Salon. He says he hopes the catch and shoot is much better. Fast breaks effective. Wish new parks. Hope not a lot of patches for 2K18 that ruin the game. I'm with you on that. I don't want a whole bunch of patches because I like the game the way it plays right now. Catch and shoot. All of the shooting is more realistic, but it's much harder. You know, there was like, I think it was 2K15, open threes were just like automatic. I'm literally like 90%, and that's just insane. Steph Curry misses open threes sometimes. Ray Allen missed open threes sometimes. People miss shots they should make. That I don't want a video game that every single shot that a person should make all the time always goes in. That's not how sports goes, man. It's not how it goes. The plays that always should be made are not always made. So yeah, but the catch and shoot is better. Fast breaks, I think, are better too. like I said, man, from a gameplay standpoint, dude, this game is silly good. It's silly good. Next question is from Samuel Walker. Can we change the all-time Thunder jerseys to Sonic jerseys? I checked this specifically for you, Sam, because I remembered this question. It stuck out in my head. And the answer, unfortunately, is no. You cannot. You can only cycle through Thunder jerseys, which there must be some sort of legality involved in that situation, some sort of problem, licensing issue. Because if you look at the other teams that have relocated and that sort of thing, you can use pretty much those jerseys, but you can't for the Thunder and the Sonics. So I don't know why. Next question comes from Zachary Rosenthal. He says, how does the game feel? Do great players play similarly to meh players, or do they actually feel a lot better than meh players? That's part 1 of 2. Great players definitely feel better, feel more capable of doing more things, especially offensively. Defensively, great players stand out more too, because you can tell when you are being guarded by a really good defender or somebody who is not. You're able to beat them off the dribble easier. If you're in the low post, you're able to get to your areas easier and to gain advantage when you're trying to back down, all of that. So even shot blockers, I felt at least the impact of driving to the basket against an elite shot blocker. So I liked it. Second part of his question is, how do you like the new branching system that is replacing the old way of animations? How does it feel, and how well do big men play? Big men play really good. They have a whole bunch of new post moves I haven't learned or mastered yet. But I love to play in the post in the game and in real life. So yeah, the big men feel really good to play with. And let's see, the new branching system. Like I said, the animations, I didn't see a lot of canned animations, and I just loved the way that whole thing worked, period. So I have nothing but positives to say at this point about that part of the game. All right, next question is from Kane Beasy. He says, can you change starting lineups of the all-time teams in the main menu? I think I understand what you're saying, Kane. And the answer is yes. You can, and if you're in the starting lineup and you change, if you want to, same way you did with the other teams, you can still do, unless I'm misunderstanding your question. The answer is yes. All right, next question comes from Marcus. He says, when someone drives down the middle of the court, CPU helps every time and leaves an open corner man. Does this still happen? It does not happen all the time. And this is one of the dope things about the AI. The AI will literally leave bad shooters, but they will not leave good shooters, right? So now it depends, because if you have an advantage and you're about to get a dunk, then they may leave. But if you don't have a dunk and there's a man on and there's a man guarding the man as he's driving to the basket, they are not going to leave that good corner shooter to help. They will stay on a good corner shooter. But if you have a bad corner shooter, they will leave. You can see that in the videos, in my video that I put up of the Bulls and the Pistons. And you can even see it in the developer blog videos that Scott O'Gallagher put up. One of the best parts about the AI, I thought. Next question comes from Devin Bale. And he says, is the shooting better and more consistent? Yep, much better, much more realistic. I don't know about consistent, but much more realistic. Dex says, are we going to be able to edit the socks this year? Because we haven't had that option in so long. I don't know, Dex, because I didn't go into the accessories as much as I would have liked. Kind of had to narrow it down and just start going into what I could get into in the time allotted, but I did not see that specifically. Let's see. P-Bake says, how are the screens? The defender gets there. Okay, so this is where I got that. I probably should have took this one out, but yes. So I addressed this about the defender being sucked into the screens. Maurice Dixon says, transition defense and AI defense. Too many dunk possessions in 2K17. Well, you ain't got to worry about that in 2K18, Maurice. You get a dunk in 2K18, you earned it, bro. I'm gonna tell you, especially on Superstar, you earned it. Takes good passing. It takes a good move to the basket. It takes a late rotation. The same things that create a dunk in real NBA. It's not just like, I call it the wiggle stick around effect or wiggle around stick effect in 2K17 and previous 2Ks. Like I could just about get a dunk with any big man I wanted to in previous 2Ks if I just did a couple post moves. You would have to play really good, sound, solid defense to prevent me from getting a dunk in the low post, because you just kind of move back and forth on the pivot and ultimately just kind of get in the direction, in a position where you could get one off. That you're not getting that in 2K18. You get a dunk, like I said, you're going to earn it. The next question comes from Jay. He says, what is the cap looking like? Can we put tats on created players, change body type, shot creator for cap? Okay, so I kept this one because he mentioned body types and shot creator. Another part of the cap option that I did not like, offline caps especially, is they talk about changing the body types, but the change is not as visible as it needs to be. So if you drop a guy down to the minimum weight, 145 pounds, and then you take it all the way up to 350, the amount of weight that he gains is not, it's not, I mean, so we talking about 105-pound difference, right? Visually, it looks like he gained 15. And that ain't right. That ain't the way it's supposed to be. So I don't know what the issue is with that. Maybe it's that to have a character model that is that much different from the rest of the models in the NBA. Maybe perhaps that creates a problem. I don't know. Maybe you would have excessive clipping if that were the case. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. But yeah, it's not visually representing the weight still. The shot creator for cap I thought was really cool. Pretty similar to what we had in 2K17 in the shot creator during my my player. So it was pretty cool. Let's see. Next question is from Brian Thomas. He said, will the crowd reactions be better, more lifelike when big plays happen? From what I've seen, I would say so. I don't know if you saw the video of Avery Bradley making the game winner with the Pistons and you saw the crowd go crazy as the ball went in. That kind of thing I think is good. I don't know if they're going to get it with, if you're going to see, I can't recall seeing like a big block shot and then the fans went crazy like they might. But for scores, definitely. The next question is also from Jay. He says, how is the contested to uncontested shot ratio? For example, shooters shouldn't flail if defender is 4 feet away. No, they don't flail when they're 4 feet away. They flail when you're right up on the guy. And the contested shots, man. Okay, here's one thing you got to remember. The video that I put up, right, was of the Pistons, a noted defensive franchise. So pretty much all of the guys on that team are known for elite level defense on that all-time Pistons team. So that's another thing to consider. So not only am I playing on Superstar, I'm also playing against what might be the best defensive all-time team on the game, right? I don't know that for a fact, but they got to be up there, right? So I didn't get a lot of uncontested shots. Now, had I run an offense or even let my freelance offense work a little bit more for me, perhaps I would have. But as it was, I didn't get that many. All right. Next one up is from Monster and does 2C's dad. He says, do they have free agency in My League Online? That's it. That's all. Thanks. I don't think so, man. I asked that question. I didn't necessarily get an answer, but as I went back over through the blogs for My League, I'm pretty sure that if that was added, it would have been in the blog, and it wasn't. Isaiah says, what are the archetypes in 2K18? Man, literally, like I said, there's over 100 of them. I do not have a full list of them. Even if I did, I would not read 100 and some odd archetypes to you. But I do believe there may be, no, I don't think there is anything online about it. I'll check and see if there is, if there's a link to all of the archetypes, or if I can get it from some of the guys at 2K, I'll tweet it. I'll tweet it out. So that's how we'll handle that. The next question comes from Zachary. He says, can we trade injured players in My League, My GM now? It happens all the time in the NBA, but couldn't do it in 2K. I don't know that. That's a question that I asked. That might be something we have to see once the game actually arrives. I'm hoping that's not a make or break for you in regards to whether or not you're going to buy it or not, because I would like to be able to give you that information. But I don't know. I don't know. The next question is from Marvo, and Marvo says, is last gen being taken care of? Um, bruh, they have not mentioned one thing about last gen at all. And honestly, Marvo, I'm being honest with you, bro, and not being mean or nothing like that or anything. But man, if there's no way in the world they could focus on last gen, man. I mean, with all the you talking about an 8 to 9 month development cycle, and they have to make sure that the PS4 and the Xbox One versions are priority. And with that shorter development cycle, if something's got to suffer, you already know which one's going to suffer. So, and if you consider the vast majority of gamers have already upgraded, you got to upgrade, or to be honest with you, man, at this point, you got to upgrade or take what they give you, or just maybe bow out of the gaming aspect altogether, because it's just I don't think it's realistic to me at this point. Like some consumer, I'm trying to get this mic cord together. I don't know what's going on. Some of the consumer requests or complaints are totally logical, but I'll be honest with you, I don't think that it's logical anymore to worry or complain about last gen. I think we just way past it. The next question comes from Joe, the sports fan. He says, "Ask about if diamond badges could be a thing." I'm hoping somebody can explain. I didn't get this question. I didn't take it away because it could be a very good question, but I just don't understand what you mean. He's saying athletic MJ 2011 is acrobat, Rose, Kyrie, long range. I don't get it. So somebody to help me, because I don't understand that. The next, and we actually do have some non-2K questions coming up. So this is usually Ask FP won't be this many questions, but because of everything that was going on with 2K, here it is. Sports 725 says, "Can you check if the rookies have their tattoos in the screenshots? It looks like they didn't. Some of them will, some of them probably won't. I do know that Markel Fultz had his, so it just probably depends on whether or not they were able to get the rights, or they were able to get the get them scanned in or what have you. But some of them definitely do." Let's see. The next question comes from Jared Huff. He says, "Is Carlos Boozer in 2K18, more specifically on the 2011 Bulls? He is not in the game at all. So he should have been on the 2010-11 Bulls, and he should have been on the Utah Jazz all-time team, and he is not on either. There has to be some sort of licensing issue. I asked him about it. No one knew for sure." Jordan Latimer says, "Did you see create a team anywhere?" Nope, they have not brought that back yet, or not even sure if they ever will. They probably feel like, what you're able to do with expansion and rebranding in my league is enough. That's probably what they feel. So they do not have created team as of yet. Let's see. Long says, "With creating teams in NBA 2K18, will we be able to make sleeve jerseys, and will we be able to get tats and all my player accessories for caps?" So I answered the part about the caps already. The sleeve jersey creations, I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure. I thought I heard someone talking about that at one point, but I don't know for sure. That's a pretty good question, though. It would be pretty cool if you could do that. I know you can make alternate jerseys and alternate uniforms, but I don't know if you can do sleeved jerseys. So we'll find. If I find out the answer to that for sure, I'll tweet it out, and I'll tweet it at you. Let's see. The next question comes from Chris. He says, 2K has said that strength and size are a lot more important this year. Is there now different body types when creating players? I talked a little bit about this. Like I said, different body types, but not a big enough variation. And yes, strength does definitely matter. I thought I got the duplicates, but I'm clearly missing some. So now we're getting away from 2K a little bit, where I'm sure we're going to have a couple more. But this question is actually for about Madden, from Jordan Newhook. He says, "What minutes do you use in Madden for realistic stats?" I think mine is set on like 9 minutes. I think it is. I think it's 9 minutes. I did bump the minutes up, and I took up the accelerated clock just by like 5 seconds. So I think my accelerated clock is like 20 or 20. It's like 25 seconds, I think. And I get really, really solid statistics there. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm happy with it where it is like that. Playing on sim, it pretty works out pretty well for me. You guys definitely need to check out my Madden Connected franchise series with the Chicago Bears if you haven't watched it. I think it's going pretty well. We're going to be going into week 2 against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the next episode, which is going to be on Monday. So keep your eyes peeled on that. Next question is from Jared Young, my boy. He says, Triple G versus Canelo. Who you got? Got a boxing question, and I'm excited. I have Canelo. I got a chance to talk to a couple NBA players, ask them their opinions. If I get maybe 1 or 2 more opinions from NBA guys, I'll probably do a video with it. But so I'll wait to talk about what they said. But I got Canelo, man. I think that Canelo, at where he is right now in his career, he's a boxer puncher. And I think that he has the boxing skill to take advantage of some of the issues and some of the problems that we've seen with Golovkin. Golovkin is not that difficult to hit. I'm not sure his power is as crushing to elite level fighters who are able to offer back their own substantial offense as it is against some of the more. I mean, if we be honest, man, is Golovkin's record amazing? Yes. What is it? I think he's 36-0 with 33 knockouts or 34 knocks, something like that. It's an amazing record. But you do definitely have to consider the level of competition. He hasn't fought a lot of great fighters. The best fighters that he has faced is Danny Jacobs and Kell Brook. And Kell Brook was an overblown welterweight when he fought him. And Kell Brook had some good success against him before, the size and strength, size and strength difference just kind of got the better of him. I actually scored the Danny Jacobs fight very close, and I could have easily seen Jacobs getting the nod, even though I kind of knew he wouldn't. But he did very well against Triple G. So now we're going into a third fight in a row where people now have, the third fight after the last 2 opponents have had better success cracking the Triple G code. I think Canelo is the guy that has the power and the boxing skill to defeat Triple G. And I think he beats him. I wouldn't even be surprised if it's like a TKO in the 10th round. I can see it happening. I got Canelo. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and put the prediction out there. I got Canelo in the 10th round TKO. We'll see what happens. The next question comes from Manu Draconobili. Manu Draconobili. And he says, and this is 2K question. He says, can you check to see if we can edit the all-time team roster for the NBA 2K18, please? I think I did answer that already. Sorry, I should have probably removed that. You can edit all of the all-time team rosters. It's really cool, for sure. Dex says, can you see if we can edit player socks? Oh, I think we talked about that too. See, I'm slipping a little bit on removing some of these duplicates. Devontae Hughes says he wants my feelings on the new Hawk draftee, John Collins. I really liked what I saw, but I caution people of getting too excited about summer league standouts. I remember this guy came from University of Maryland. The Bulls drafted him. His name was Lonnie Baxter. Lonnie Baxter was a monster in the summer league. I mean, just scoring at will. He looked like the second coming of Charles Barkley or somebody, right? Without the dunks. It's undersized power forward that was scoring like crazy in the summer league. NBA, totally different story, man. Different level athletes, different level experience, the whole 9. So John Collins is a very good athlete, which is a good thing. He's 6'10", good size for the power forward position. So I think he's going to be a solid player. But I don't know. We got to temper our expectations. I want to see what he does in the first couple months of the season, how much clock he gets, and just how he performs. But I did like what I saw in the summer league. Next question comes from Brock Lesnar. He says, could Deshaun Kaiser have a solid rookie year? Is he not ready for the spotlight? I think Kaiser could have a good rookie year. I think he's in a better position to succeed early than some of the other rookie quarterbacks because he has an elite left tackle. He has a decent offensive line. And believe it or not, Cleveland has some okay weapons. They got a decent running game. They got a good tight end. So he has some weapons. He has some things to work with. So, do I think he's going to the Pro Bowl? He's going to have a crazy great season? No, I wouldn't say that because he's still a rookie quarterback and not even the best rookie quarterback in my opinion. But he does have some weapons. And he also has an offensive-minded head coach who is a bit of a quarterback whisperer in Hugh Jackson. So we'll see what happens. The next question is from Malik. He says, why won't Madden use classic teams or the Pro Bowl? Do they just not care? So this is leading into the question, or one of the things I said a little bit earlier today. Madden used to use the classic teams, right? And the way they used to do it was they just used to have the numbers of the players, and some of the numbers were even off, but you could kind of guess who the guys were. They could probably still do that, but they would run the risk of potentially having the Retired Players Association or whatever, retired players having an issue with that, and maybe suing them for, and would they lose? Would they win? Probably not, but that's kind of bad press. The Pro Bowl, I don't think, is the Pro Bowl not in there? I thought the Pro Bowl was in the game last year. Did I miss that? I don't know about that one, Malik, but um, I'm honestly, I will say this though: the Pro Bowl is probably the all-star game that people care the least about of all of the major sports all-star games there is. I mean, nobody cares about the Pro Bowl. I know I don't. They don't even play the real game, and I totally understand why. So I'm not on the players for the way it goes. I mean, it's a tough physical game, and I don't want to get hurt in the Pro Bowl, and so I get it, but it's a lot of money on the line. But I don't know about that one. I don't know if that even matters. But the classic team thing, I definitely feel I would love to see that in there. But I think that the NFL limits a lot of what Madden can do. I really do. Let's see. Deontay Rose says, what boxing matchups are you looking forward to in the next few months and year? GGG Canelo, Joshua Wilder, Santa Cruz Mares, High Tech Rigo. Well, I'll answer that. Obviously, Triple G Canelo next weekend. I'm looking. Well, no, not next week. Weekend after next. I'm looking forward to. Joshua is not fighting Wilder. He's fighting Kubrat Pulev in October. That was announced, I think, today or yesterday. And I'm looking forward to that simply because I love to watch Anthony Joshua fight. I don't think Kubrat Pulev has a chance to beat him, but I think it's a good fight. Deontay Wilder and Luis Ortiz, though, looks like it's going to be a go for November 4th. I can't wait for that. That is beast. I mean, that's the type of fight that fits so well with 2017, which has been such a great year for boxing. Some people had a problem with Mayweather McGregor. I did not. I did not judge it or put it in the same category with like Triple G, Canelo, or some of the other great fights we saw. I thought it was a harmless diversion, because the year has been so good. Now, if that fight had happened in a year where we didn't see as many great fights and great matchups that we've seen in boxing, then I would have had more of a problem with it. But it wasn't that. It was like a separate exhibition entertainment thing that you were able to enjoy for what it was. And that's the way I looked at it. But Wilder Ortiz will be great. Santa Cruz Mares is not going to happen this month. I know this year. I know they're fighting on the same card, but they're probably trying to work. I don't even know why they're trying to build that rematch. Santa Cruz beat Abner Mares up. I don't even see why we're even doing that. I don't get that, but whatever. But woo, Lomachenko Rigondeaux is the truth. That is probably the best fight of the year. I mean, even better than Triple G Canelo, even better than it's close to War Kovalev, but man, that's a great fight. A lot of people are not going to watch it because, we have the small fighter bias. Neither guy speaks English as their first language, so that always hurts promotions. Unfortunately, that's just a fact. Shouldn't be that way, but that's the way it is. But as a pure boxing fan, oh, I can't wait. I can't wait. Let's see. Deontay Rose also says, do you think that Las Vegas will have an NBA team in 5 to 10 years? And will it be an expansion or a team relocation? Blessings and much success, sir. Thank you. Blessings and much success to you as well, Mr. Rose. I do think that Las Vegas will get an NBA team. I think that the NFL and the NBA are watching to see how the NHL, how the Vegas Golden Knights, how that whole thing works. And they're trying to gauge what it'll be like to have a professional team from their organization in that city. There's a lot of things going on with gambling and the whole nine. And, that's a touchy situation. You got to watch how that works and how that looks to your fan base. But I think ultimately it's going to happen. I don't know if it takes 5 to 10 years, but I think it's going to happen. And I could see it being expansion. I really could see it being expansion. I don't know about I don't know. I don't know which teams in the NBA are doing so poorly um, that they would want to move. I mean, I know there's some that I don't know, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it would be, but it'd be interesting. And I know if it does, if a team does go to Vegas, I can bet you that Floyd Mayweather will want in on it. But I can bet you that he probably won't get in on it because of his noted gambling, and the NBA won't want any part of that, associated with them at all. They won't. So we'll see how that goes. The next question is Jaleel from Jaleel Whitaker. He says, ask about changing the length of our shorts. This is 2K. For example, Kelly Oubre wears very high shorts on my players need this option. You cannot change the size of the shorts. I am personally not looking to give my personal player any short shorts, but I do see the benefit of it when you're making like the classic rosters and stuff like that, because the guys before the 90s wore the smaller shorts. So if you want to make it look truly authentic, that's the way it'll look. But yeah, no, that's not in there. The next question comes from Gabriel Pradilla Hunt. Will the 92 Dream Team be in NBA 2K18? You know what? I don't think so. I've scrolled through all the teams and I do not remember seeing the 92 Dream Team or the most recent World Championships team. So yeah, I don't think they're in there. Next question comes from my main man, Simon Torvay Sunland. And he says, where do you rank Black Thought as an MC? Man, Black Thought is one of the most underrated MCs, in my opinion, in hip hop. I can't necessarily say, oh, he's top 5 or anything to that effect. I can't say that. I'd have to really, really think about it. And obviously, all this stuff is relative. You might think one person is good, like Lil Wayne's not in my top 5, but I know a lot of people who he would be in their top 5, but he's not in mine. So I hope the camera. I just realized that the camera might have been shaking like for this whole time, but I probably it's where I have the camera seated right now. I need to get like a boom arm for the camera that doesn't sit with this shaky table, because anytime I like move the mouse or whatever, it kind of shakes. I apologize for that. But Black Thought is probably in my top 10. For anybody who's not familiar with Black Thought, he is one of the MCs from the Roots. Pretty much, I would say the voice of the Roots. Not as high profile as Questlove, who's the drummer, who is the one you see everywhere. But Black Thought, man, Black Thought is really, really super, super talented, man. If you've ever heard I mean, he has several songs, right? That several songs where his verses are just amazing, right? But one of the ones that popped in my head was his collaboration with Big Pun for a song called Super Lyrical. And I'm just gonna read you just an excerpt of his verse. It's crazy. These cats, they sentimental such with a gentle touch, dancing double dutch and all saying nothing much. My sound wave lifting your chin like uppercuts, newfound ways of ripping it up. I develop your squad chest swell up. Still your miniature to me. Naturally, I bring the extremity, musically intense with the globe in suspense, contemplating where the world traveler been since. I mean, just and dude, that verse that's from Big Pun's like first album, Capital Punishment, which in my opinion is one of the best albums in hip hop history. One of the most underrated albums in hip hop history too. Just an amazing album from front to back. Very few things you have to skip on that album. But yeah, Black Thought is the truth in the booth for sure. I mean, he's one of my he is absolutely one of my favorites. Does not get the love or the credit that he deserves as a truly great MC. He is a beast. All right, so let's go back to our next question here. We gotta bring our screen back up. We're almost to the end. Anybody who's getting a little ear weary or ear and eye weary. Nevin Palmer says, Will the creation suite along with the hairstyles in the neighborhood my career be available to use in cap? Okay, so I did. Man, I don't know. I thought I got most of these duplicates out, but Nevin, the hairstyles are, um, but you pretty much everything is except for you can get tattoos in my career, but you can't get tattoos in offline creative player. That's pretty much the only difference. And oh, and no face scanning, of course. So that's it. Bam Proctor says, do you think the Prelude is going to be coming to the Nintendo Switch? That's a good question. I didn't get a chance. I haven't talked about the Switch version yet, and I'm gonna actually probably do a video on the Switch version itself because that was a separate experience. But I don't know if it's coming to the Switch. They've said that every feature, so they said feature is coming to the Switch, but not necessarily every, not necessarily. I don't know if they consider the Prelude a feature. I don't know. I don't think so though. I'm gonna say I don't think so, but I don't know for sure. All right. The next question comes from Jake Horton. He says, it seems like you are a huge hoops historian. Who are like him? Who are your top 10 NBA, ABA players of all time in order? So I thought about it for a second. And obviously, this is a list that can change here and there. But for me right now, Jake, number one is Mike. Michael Jordan is number one overall. Number two, some people might find this weird or crazy. Number two for me is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, man. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is the most underrated player in the league. And the reason why I say that is underrated player in NBA history. The reason why I say that is when you hear people talk about the GOAT, nobody ever talks about Kareem. They always talk about Mike, Magic, Kobe, LeBron, Bird. Some people say Wilt, but nobody talks about Kareem. And if you look at Kareem's accomplishments, man, the MVPs, the championships, the years leading the league in scoring, the years leading the league in rebounding, shot blocking, the longevity, everything, man. Just look up Kareem. Just go. You know what? I'm not even gonna tell you to go. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about because perhaps that's what needs to happen so people can get a grip and understand what we're talking about with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I mean, you gotta look at it, man, and just ask yourself. I don't care who you saw do whatever crazy good dunk you saw them do. I don't care, right? Let's talk about winning and let's talk about numbers, right? And I'm going to bring up this is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's entire career statistics, right? And I'm going to show you what we're talking about here because it's real deal Holyfield type stuff right here. So as a rookie, okay, as a rookie in 69-70, he averaged 28.8 points a game, 14 and a half rebounds, 4.1 assists. We don't know how many blocks, so they didn't start keeping blocks until the 73-74 season. But 28.8 and 14 and a half? Really? That's what we own as a 22-year-old rookie? The next 2 years, he leads the league in scoring, 31.7, 34.8, averaging over 16 rebounds a game both years. Next year, he averages 30 points, 16 boards. Leads the league in rebounding in 75-76 and block shots while averaging 27.7 a game. He led the league in blocks 4 times, led the league in scoring twice, led the league in rebounding once. He led the league in field goal percentage once. Look at the durability. For the most part, we talking about 82 games or so or something. He had a couple years here where he got hurt 65, 62. But even down to when he was 41 years old, he played 74 games. He played 20 seasons in the NBA, and he never averaged less than 10 points a game. The first 17 seasons of his career, he averaged over 20 a game. Okay, we want to talk about accomplishments and awards and championships. 19-time All-Star, 6-time NBA champion, 15-time All-NBA, the Rookie of the Year, 2 Finals MVPs, 11-time All-Defense, and 6 League MVPs. Now, I ask you again, who has a resume of individual success and scoring and rebounding and shot blocking like that. Now we could talk about Bill Russell. We could. We could talk about Bill Russell. But Bill Russell didn't score like Kareem. He didn't score like Kareem. And if Kareem had concentrated just on rebounding and defense primarily like Russell did, I can't tell you that Kareem's rebounding and shot blocking numbers wouldn't be what Russell's are. Even then, we don't even know what Russell's shot blocking numbers are because they didn't keep up with block shots most of his career. So, and I'm not taking anything away from Bill Russell. I'm not. But yeah, yeah, it's yeah. This is it's no joke, man. I mean, Kareem does not get the credit, man, that he deserves as being as great as he was. He just doesn't get it. And I don't know if it's because he's more quiet, or because he played a long time ago. I don't know, but he just don't get it, man. And he deserves it. So he's number 2 for me. Number 3 is LeBron. Yeah, you can say, I know, hey, y'all can hate if you want. You can hate if you want, but there's never been a player in NBA history who was a better athlete, a better natural athlete. He's obviously got the winning and the statistics to prove it, but from a pure athleticism standpoint as well, nobody's ever been that big, that strong, that fast, jumping that high. You know, Will Chamberlain's really strong. He's a very good leaper as well. But obviously we're not talking about the same type of speed that LeBron has, and combining it all together, LeBron's a beast. Number 4 for me is Wilt. Number 5 is Larry Bird. Number 6 is Magic Johnson. Number 7 for me is Kobe. I'm never have been. I like Kobe, and I definitely know Kobe's a great all-time great player, but Kobe just never, completely very. He's not very efficient. It was never very efficient. Never very efficient. Just never shot a very high percentage from the floor, and took a lot of bad shots. But he's great, so he knocks some of those down. So we tend to forget about the bad ones that he took. And obviously, I'm not saying he's not a great player. I'm saying he's the 7th greatest player to ever play the game. So it's no insult, but I don't have him necessarily as high as some people do. Number 8 for me is Dr. J. I think Dr. J is another one that doesn't get enough credit. If you look at Dr. J's ABA numbers, he dominated the game. He dominated the game, and he did it very early in the NBA too. He was a beast, and I think he could do a lot more than he even actually did. But he was so much better than the competition that I think it could have potentially stunted the growth of his game. If Dr. J played today, he would be, I think, even better because he would have expanded his game in other ways. Because great players are going to expand. The next one is number 9 for me is Hakeem Olajuwon. Hakeem Olajuwon is one of the smoothest low post scorers I've ever seen. His defense, his low post defense, his shot blocking, his rebounding, his agility, just a great player. And then number 10 for me is Bill Russell. I have him edging out Tim Duncan just a touch. But Bill Russell would be 10 for me. I know a lot of people have problems with that list. It is what it is. But that's what I got. If you want to know who's just on the outside of the list, in addition to Tim Duncan, is Oscar Robinson's right out there as well. Kevin Durant's right out there. So Kevin Durant's not even done yet. So, all right. The next question comes from CT Lesk. He says, do you think there's enough of a difference between Madden 17 and 18 to justify buying 18? Assume story mode doesn't do it for me. That's a good question, because the story mode is a big part of, to me, what made the game a lot better. But if you don't like that, then I can understand how you could be underwhelmed with the jump from 17 to 18, because they didn't do a whole bunch else with features. The gameplay is a lot better, in my opinion. And if that's a big thing to you, if you really, really like the gameplay with Madden 17, you have no problems with it, right? Then maybe you don't need to upgrade. But if you want better gameplay, then I would say 18, because 18 has better gameplay. It does. It just has better gameplay. All right, next question comes from Jordan Latimer. He said, how many different body types did you notice? It's hard to answer, Jordan. There's slight differences in everybody, so it's not like body type 1, body type 2, body type 3, body type 4. There's slight differences in each one. I think I would have liked to see a little bit more of a variation in the body types. I will say that, but I can't number them for you because the differences are too slight. So I like the fact that there's slight differences, but I still think there should be more variation, if that makes any sense. All right, my next question, which is the last one, comes from Timbo Slice. He says, any idea why Dwayne Wade released his rating as an 84, but then 2K's top 10 had him at 82? Bro, I don't know. Maybe that it could have been a mistake or something to that effect. I can't tell you exactly, but man, I don't know. I've seen that happen. I mean, obviously the rating shouldn't have changed. He hasn't played any games, but it definitely did. And I can't tell you why, bro. I really don't know. I'll tell you this. I think it's too high because I watched Dwayne Wade play all last season, and I know good and well he's not an 82. He's definitely not an 82 if Derrick Rose is a 78. Because what are you going to point to in Dwayne Wade's game that was 4 points better, and certainly not 6 points better than Derrick Rose? I have no idea at all. Dwayne Wade didn't play any defense all season at all. He was dreadful. So whatever. So I don't know. But that is all I got for you guys today. I appreciate anybody who sat through the entire show. I know it was a long one. It won't be this long every Saturday, but was a lot to cover, a lot to talk about. I got a video coming out. My vlog experience, part 1 of 2, is coming out later on tonight, probably around 8 o'clock Central Time. So that's going to be me covering the, my experience at the NBA 2K event. We did play some pickup basketball. I strained my calf like on the first play of the game. So, but I did still play. I got some buckets in. I know I need to lose some weight though, man. I thought, man, you don't really realize how much weight you need to lose till you see yourself on camera. I was like, whoa, I look like a tubby ball head man out here, but I still got it in a little bit. Got a couple nice moves on Timely Cook. So I'm gonna show you a little bit of that. But that's not tonight. That's the second part of the vlog. The first part of the vlog is just going around, to the different sites that we went to on the tour or whatever. And what's today? Sunday. Tomorrow, we'll run another video. We're essentially trying to make sure what I'm doing. If you haven't noticed over the last few days, I'm trying to make sure I give you guys a video a day at least. There will be some days where there'll be more than one video, but I'm trying to do a video a day. Obviously, I've tried to do that before. Things always happen, throw me off pace. But hey, nothing beat a failure but a try, right? Keep going. So I appreciate you guys watching as usual. If you have not subscribed yet, please hit subscribe. If you like this video, absolutely hit the like button. Until the next time, I'll see you guys next Saturday for the next episode of Ask FP. God bless and peace.